Hey everyone, so in this video I'm going to be going over some of the things that I wish I knew when I first got into dropshipping. These are the things that I didn't expect to happen and some things that I just got wrong. And it's more going to be a video around like my experience and sort of sharing what I learned about dropshipping with you guys, and hopefully that is quite useful to you. The first thing is that not every single product you test is going to be a winner. I think that's something that a lot of people who are just getting started in dropshipping think. They think every product they run out there is going to be a six-figure product. I was the same. I thought that when I first started, and that is just not the case. I remember the first product I ever tried to sell was an iPhone case with a few cats on it, and I thought that was going to make me a millionaire. Like that was the first product I ever tested, and it didn't work because not every product is scalable. And I think a lot of people getting into dropshipping think that every product is scalable, and it's not. So just because you're testing a product, just because you're seeing people out there saying, oh, they've made X amount, by dropshipping these products, not every single product you test is going to do that. And I think you need to be aware of that when you're first getting into dropshipping, that there are very few products that will allow you to scale to six figures, but there are a lot of products out there that will allow you to make a little bit of money from. And if you can find enough of them and you can have enough of them running at the same time, that can give you a tidy profit as well. But I think just something you need to be aware of is that you're just not going to be able to scale everything. Some of the products that I'm running right now are just on my campaigns at £50 a day, because every time I increase that budget, they stop working. So I have to keep it at £50 a day because the product just isn't scalable. But at £50, it works, it's profitable, and it's been profitable for months, and it's just profitable every single day. And it just won't let me scale. It just can't scale that product because as you increase your budget, your ROAS just naturally decreases, and it won't let me scale that product. And I think you just need to be aware of that. There's some products you just can't scale, and you're just gonna have to leave them at that sort of profitable low level, and then try and find another product. And if you can get enough of those, like I was saying, if you can get enough low profitability kind of products, that will add up, and that can create a nice healthy business. The second point is Facebook ads are really complex. And when I first got into this, I did not expect Facebook ads to be as complex and as in depth as they were. I was very much a thought of I could jump in, create a campaign, create an ad, and just send it out to people, and that would be enough. And I never considered how much is actually involved with Facebook ads. And I think a lot of people getting involved now, they think they can just jump in and create Facebook ads, and that's it. Very similar to how I did it. And for the majority of people, that doesn't work. You will end up spending more money. Some people that are contacting me now, asking for coaching sessions and are looking to enroll in the academy, they're making those mistakes. They're spending budget every single day and not making any returns because they're doing things wrong. And I think if you're thinking about doing dropshipping, if you're thinking about getting involved in it, or even if you just started and you're not seeing results, there's a reason for that, and that's because Facebook is complex and you need to understand it fully to be successful at it. So either spend some time learning it yourself, do some research online, enroll in an academy, get some coaching sessions, to do something to learn how to use Facebook before you start spending money in there, because you will waste money trying to use Facebook. If you're using Facebook now and you're not seeing much success, then consider how much you're willing to lose if you don't learn it. The third point is customers are going to try and rip you off. And this is something I didn't expect at the time when I first started, but you will get chargebacks. Customers will say the product has never been delivered, but it has. I get chargebacks the day after something's landed on their doorstep. The delivery has landed, I get the tracking to say it's been delivered, and I'll get a chargeback from the bank saying they haven't received it. Now, funnily enough, like the majority of chargebacks seem to be coming from the US. So I don't know what's going on over in America, but pretty much every single chargeback I've ever had has been from the US. UK and Europe, you don't seem to get them that much, but in the US, it seems to be rife. Like you seem to be getting a lot of chargebacks in the US. So just be aware of that. Now, I win my chargebacks because the people who are claiming these against me are wrong. They're trying to rip me off. But once I give the banks the information, I document everything. I show the tracking information, the customer communication, everything. I'll send them an email saying we just received a chargeback. We can show it's been delivered, and I send all that to the bank, and the bank will agree in my favor, and I'll eventually get the money back. Because with a chargeback, what happens is you get charged for the product price. So if you were selling something for say $30, that $30 will be taken out of your Shopify balance, but then the bank also charge you an extra $10. So now, you've been given $30 by the customer, but now you're having to give back $40. So you get charged an extra $10, and it can take a few months for that chargeback to be resolved by the bank, so you get that money back. It's really frustrating, and I wish they wouldn't do that, because a lot of customers, they're trying to rip you off. So just be aware about that. As long as you have the documentation, you have the tracking information available, you can claim it back, but there will be a delay for you to get that money back to you. The next point is retargeting. Retargeting is so important. Like, do not underestimate the power of retargeting. There's something I didn't really do when I first started because I didn't understand it, but you need to retarget as much as you possibly can, because that's where your highest ROAS comes from. You need to be looking at email retargeting, you need to be looking at messenger retargeting, you need to be looking at SMS retargeting, you want dynamic retargeting ads within Facebook, you want custom audience retargeting within Facebook. You want to retarget the customer as much as possible across every single placement you can possibly put the ad to draw them back to your store. It's not just about sending an email when someone abandons. You want to be able to capture absolutely everything down the funnel, whether they've just watched 95% of your video but not actually viewed your page for the product. You want to retarget them. You want to retarget people who have viewed your page but not added a product to the cart. Retarget them. Retarget people who have added to cart but not initiated checkout. And then finally, target people who have initiated checkout but not purchased. You want to retarget every single point of that funnel, so you can claw back every single cent you can possibly can from those customers, because that's where your profit comes from. A lot of people come to your store, they'll like the product, they'll think about it, but they'll go because they don't really know who you are. That's cold traffic. You need to hit them again and again and again, and just keep retargeting them until they come back, because the more they see your brand, the more they're familiar with that product, the more likely they are to buy from you. So retargeting is so important. Get it all set up. I go through in so much detail within the academy all the different steps you need to do and all the different types of retargeting, but you need to get that set up on your Facebook ad. You need to get it done for your store, because you are leaving money on the table if you don't do that. The final point is sales don't matter. Profit matters. And that was a big mistake I made very early on when I started dropshipping. Was I was looking at that top number, that gross figure, that that 10, my first 10,000 that I made in the first 6 weeks of dropshipping. I was excited, I was happy. Like, I was like, oh yeah, I made 10 grand on my store. But my profit at that point was probably just under 2 grand. So it wasn't great, like I wasn't making a lot of money, and that was something I didn't understand at the time in my head. My business knowledge, my understanding of dropshipping wasn't great. And I was happy that I made 10 grand, but I wasn't really thinking about the money I was actually getting in my pocket. And it was just under 2 grand at the time, because I was making lots of mistakes. I wasn't retargeting properly. And that's something you have to be thinking about when you do it. A lot of people go out there, you'll see it on these groups, on these Facebook groups. So they'll be like, oh, I've made 60 grand this month. And someone will comment and they'll say, oh, how much is profit? I said, oh, well, I've not made any profit. I'm just at this number. I'm like, well, it doesn't really matter. You can be at 100 grand, you could be at $1 million. But if you made no profit, then there's what's the point? You're wasting your own time. So, I'd rather sell something for $30 and make $20 profit than sell something for $100 and make $5 profit. It's common sense, but I think a lot of people see those big numbers and they're like, oh yeah, I've made 50 grand, I made 60 grand this month, but the profit might be 1, 2, 3 grand. And it's like, profit is important. You're running a business, so don't be looking at that top level gross number. You want to be looking at your net figure after all your expenditure. Get yourself a profit and loss spreadsheet created. Track everything week by week by week. Know what's coming in and out of the bank, and just focus on that profit, because that's what's going to drive your business forward, and that's what's going to allow you to grow. So those are just some of the things that I wish I'd known at the beginning when I first got started in dropshipping. If I had known those things, then I would have made a lot more money than I have done, and I would have made far fewer mistakes. So yeah, take my advice, learn from it, go and put what I've said into practice, and hopefully you see some improvements on your store if you're struggling. And hopefully you found this video useful. If you did, make sure you drop me a like, subscribe if you're new. If you have any questions, as usual, drop them in the comments below, because I am answering everything. It's taken quite a bit of time, but I am enjoying communicating with you guys, talking to you guys, and answering your questions. I feel it's quite a good relationship we've got going on. So yeah, just drop them in the comments. I'll answer them as quickly as I can. Make sure you check out the links in the description, because there's a lot of useful information in there as well. But yeah, that's the end of this video. I will see you in the next one.